When I woke up this morning, I had no intention of making a video about the new chaos rules. I had no intention at all, but then after reading the chaos rules, now I have a ton to say. Now, this is the only chaos we ever see on the channel. This is my special lady's army, and she's a wonderful special lady. And but she's not a nerd like I am, like the rest of us, And it's wonderful that she participates, but she's not all in. And so when she buys models, she buys what she wants. She's not trying to build an army, but she does fall to Nurgle. And so what we have here is we have representatives of the Nurgle Demons Codex. We have the Gellerpox Infected, and then we have the beginnings of some Death Guard. We have loosely strung this army together on the channel under the Nurgle keyword. We've only ever played it narratively. It's been a joy. It's a lot of fun. Nurgle is fun like orcs are fun. I'd like to pull attention to the Gellerpox Infected. They have been fantastic. Their first rule set that came with them in the Lucidian Starstrider box, that rule set was great fun. They were 7 different units. They were the Flies and the Grubs and the Vox Shamblers and the Hull Breakers and Volgrar himself. And there were stratagems in the back, and it had all this flavor. It was great fun. And then they moved it to the Death Guard, and they moved them into 2 units where the taller models were a unit and the bugs were 1 unit. And I hated it, but they still existed. Well, 10th edition has come out, and I have checked the Chaos book, the Death Guard book, and the Demons book, and the Gellerpox Infected are nowhere to be found. I would not be surprised if they get Legends rules, and if they get Legends rules, we're going to bring them back because they're great. They're really great models. They're great fun. I've really enjoyed them, but currently they're not part of 10th edition, and currently they're sitting on the shelf. Now that leaves us with the Death Guard and the Demons. I guess we'll start with the Death Guard because it's easy. There's not a lot of it. We have the Lord of Contagion, and we're calling these guys Poxwalkers, although they're mostly the Blood Bowl, Nurgle, Blood Bowl team. But we have more of them. I've been through the Chaos rules and the Death Guard rules, and I'm not so familiar with Death Guard, but I found it kind of bland. But we can pad onto this. We have more coming. But the Nurgle Demons, they're doing just fine. We have the Plague Bearers with the Poxbringer. We have the Demon Princess and the 2 Beasts of Nurgle. The Beasts of Nurgle kept their rule where if you don't kill them at the end of the phase, they get all their wounds back. That's the best rule in 40k. I love that rule. I want more of that rule. But we have the beginnings of a decent demon army, and we have the beginnings of a decent Death Guard army, but it gets better. So the Gellerpox Infected are out, but it's not going to take much to pad this army's numbers and get it back up into a more respectable number. Most of this that is painted, my lady painted. I painted 9 of these Plague Bearers, and I used a contrast scheme to do it. And if I did the rest of these demons, I would do them in the same contrast scheme, and I would fly through them. And then I don't know how soon we're going to see the rest of the Death Guard, though. I'm pretty interested in the demons, and I might just volunteer to paint the rest of them, particularly because, look at that big boy. He's coming. But I'm not too thrilled about the Death Guard, and I don't know how thrilled my lady is about the Death Guard, so we'll see. But this is the Nurgle part of the Force, and if it was just this, I wouldn't have bothered making a video. This is what I got, and this is what's coming, and Nurgle's cool. But this isn't what has me excited. The Chaos Space Marine rules have me excited. Real quick, I had to get into the closet because there's a Land Raider too. And so this can go with the Death Guard stuff, but again, not too thrilled about the Death Guard. The other thing I found in the closet is, see this rad dreadnought here? My friend the Farseer, who I play with, he is a lot younger than I am. And he found Warhammer 40,000 as a small boy. And he has a lot of stuff from his small boyhood. And he gave this to me. And this is painted green, so you think it would go with the Nurgle stuff. But it has a Doom Siren on it. So maybe it goes with the Slanesh stuff that we're going to talk about in a second. No, it may not look like much, but this is my Chaos Army. Not my woman's Chaos Army. Not my friend's childhood leftovers. This is my Chaos Army. See, I dreamt of this army right when I started playing Warhammer. I had an idea about this army. And I don't want to say too much of it. It's kind of gimmicky, and I don't want to give it away until it's done and it's finished. But there were some things I wanted out of this army. First of all, this is a Slanesh force. The original dream was 100 cultists. And then a couple other things. I wanted the sorcerer on the steed of Slanesh. And I wanted the Chaos Lord with the jump pack. But I started, buying cultists and, getting behind this idea. And the next thing you know, I can't remember which edition it was. It might have been 7th edition, maybe 8th edition. You started to have to pay the tax for bringing the cultists. If you wanted to bring a squad of cultists, you had to bring another squad of Space Marines as well. And all of a sudden, it wasn't the army I wanted it to be. And then, next thing you know, you can't bring the sorcerer on the steed. And next thing you know, a Chaos Lord can't have a jump pack. And so all this stuff has been sitting in a box. I get these guys out, and we use them as just like humans when we need humans. And because they're done, but mostly this stuff sits in a box. And look at this guy. Look at how badass he is. Why is he sitting in a box? He needs to be painted. But anyway, the reason I even wanted to make a video today and talk about it is I got into the Chaos Space Marine rules, and I found that the tax on cultists is no longer a thing. Cultists are battle line. You can bring 20 cultists in a blob. You can bring 120 cultists legally on one list. So all of a sudden, I'm falling straight to Slanesh. I want it. I want to build this list. I might get that sorcerer on the steed anyway, and maybe it's just a real slow steed. But I'd have to find the model first. I love that model. And I don't know what else is going here. I don't want a lot of Astartes. I want 100 cultists. I want demon engines. I want a Muller Fiend. I want a Defiler. But not a Defiler out of the blocks. I'm going to have to convert me up a Defiler. But I'm into it. I'm so into it. And I haven't been pumped up about Chaos in forever. Years. Absolutely years. But all of a sudden, I can't wait to get to work on this. And it's so far away. I don't even have 100 cultists, much less painting them all. And it's a big hill to climb. But there's hope. There's hope, and I'm into it. I'm super into it. Also, I'm not sold on all GW models, and if I did, I'd have a lot of repeats. A lot of these come from Heresy Miniatures, which is a company I like a lot. The guy with the repent sign, I don't know where he comes from, but he's sweet. So I have this is one of the Slanesh chariots. I have 10 demonettes. I have 10 fiends. They are all in a certain state of disrepair, but it's not so bad. I can fix those easy. Don't ask me why I have Aramon, but I have Aramon. He doesn't fit in with anything I'm doing, but here he is. Other stuff I have to work with is here. Now, the Negavolt Cultists, the Chaos Beastmen, and the Rogue Psychers, I'm sorry that there aren't rules for them because I love them. And I would love to throw them in the Force. However, the Negavolts could just be cultists. And then there's some Beastmen rules now that you can bring with your Chaos Space Marines. But they come in squads of 10. I only have 4. So we'll see where the Beastmen fit in. I got these 2 gunslingers here. I have Lucius. I have his Gubbins. They're in the bit box. And then I have this Slaneshi champion, old school. Don't really have a home for him. But this Terminator in this Sorcerer and Terminator armor, I have a feeling he's about to fall to Slanesh. And then I have these guys as well. And so I have stuff to build on, but the hope, the dream, and army I've wanted forever, and all of a sudden I think I could have again 100 cultists in a Slaneshi force. It's a big hill to climb, but it's something I want to do. Lastly, about chaos. Now again, my friend the Farseer is he's less than half my age. He's a young man. I am not a young man. But he found Warhammer 40,000 when he was a small boy. And somebody loved him and bought him models. And then as a little boy, he built his models with no care for rules or, he was a little kid. He built them like a little kid. And then years go by and they're in a box, and then he and I play for years. And then one day he drops all this on me. He's like, here you go. I don't need any of this. And I can't bring myself to just discard it because there's a lot of cool stuff here. And anytime I watch eBay Miniature Rescue with Casey, where he buys stuff on eBay and makes it beautiful, I think about these models whenever I watch that. And so the new Chaos rules come out, and I'm into them. I think they look great. And I think that these models could be turned into something and probably made into word bearers. And so we have a Demon Prince here who he needs some glue and some love. I do want to zoom in on some of the more peculiar builds here. Also, this guy's ancient and he's awesome. But he's got looks like green stuff all over him. He might need some acetone. All right, so look at this guy right here. He's ready for war. He's got all the gear. He's got all the gear, and he's awesome. Anyway, this is probably the lowest priority on my hobby list. I don't know if I will ever get to these models, but it's the time for chaos. I woke up this morning thinking I didn't care about chaos at all. And now that the day is at an end, I care about chaos a great deal. I cannot wait to build my Slaneshi army. Of course, I'm excited about it because it's today. I'm excited about it because those rules just dropped, and I just read those rules, and now it's fresh on my mind. But tomorrow we're getting the Greater Imperium rules, and I'm going to get to learn about my Imperial Knight, and my Assassinorium, and my Inquisition, and my Random Guard stuff. And then the next day is the real day. It's Orcs and Tau, and I might freak out. But anyway, chaos. Chaos is coming. Ooh.